with it. The other thing is Doomsday, because evolution doesn't work that way. And Chad and I have had this conversation before. But the way Doomsday's origin is that, and the only good thing to come out of it is that Stuart Immonen drew this amazing, what was that in, Chad? Was it an 80-page giant?
Yeah, it was an 80-page giant.
He did this amazing series of Superman villain origins that were done like Winsor McKay Little Nemo strips. That if you can find them, I mean, you can find them online easy. Just type in Stuart Immonen Doomsday origin. But he did these amazing things. But the way that they made Doomsday was that they took this like
It's a Kryptonian baby.
yeah, Kryptonian baby, and like threw him to the wolves on this really hostile planet, and it died. And that's where it ends. But then they they took the DNA and then cloned a second one and then did the same thing, and over time it learned to adapt. But that's not how evolution works. Evolution works by succeeding and passing down the adaptable traits. It doesn't work by you just die over and over until you get better at it.
It's Groundhog Day, the villain.
Yeah, it's like, and I actually, one of my least proud moments working in a comic book store was when I was trying to explain why I didn't like that to somebody. And I was like, yeah, evolution doesn't work that way. And that guy was like, doesn't work that way on Earth. And I was like, okay, you got me. That is true. It does not work that way on Earth. But, yellow sunlight doesn't give people the ability to be bulletproof either. So you win this argument. But no, that one always bugged me. That one but nothing else, quantum physics is never what it really is, and string theory is never what it really is. But
well, I mean, and I feel like comics have fundamentally misinformed people about what happens when you get exposed to radiation.
Yeah. Rest in peace, Peter Parker. But yeah, that's really comic book science makes no sense anyway. But it's but those two, because they're trying to be based on facts or on accepted scientific theories. We are in the South. Those two bug me for whatever reason, completely illogical reasons. Zach?
Well, on that line of thought, are there any bits of comic book continuity misinterpretation that ever just make you crazy and horribly ashamed?
Are you asking me if I get irrationally angry when someone gets something wrong?
Like when
I write about comics on the internet.
Exactly. You leave someone like references a story from the '80s, or I don't know, like with time travel at Marvel. Like, does it create an alternate timeline, or does it alter the stuff in the present? All that crap, and you're just like, why am I thinking of this? That.
Yeah. When I was
scared him away.
I remember when somebody thought this panel was going to have Caleb Goellner on it, and they were bad sad misinformed.
Caleb's had enough here, crowd.
When I was a younger and angrier and stupider man, I think I once called Brian Bendis an ass on my blog, which you should never do that, because don't ever make anything personal. But it was because he had Wolverine getting drunk, and Wolverine can't get drunk.
That's more bad comic book science.
So he heals quickly.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
No, but I think that's because that comes up in like really good stories. Like there's Zeb Wells, I think, wrote that story where Wolverine and Spider-Man hang out, and it's like Wolverine's birthday, but he doesn't want to tell anybody, so he just like basically calls up Spider-Man and makes him meet him at a bar.
I saw Jason Aaron recently.
No, this was before the Jason Aaron story, I think. It might have been Jason Aaron, but it's like Paulo Rivera draws. It's a really good story. But the one thing that's really good about it is that Wolverine like keeps drinking, and he'll get drunk for one panel and be hungover in the next panel, and then be completely sober in the next panel. And that's really fun. But Wolverine getting drunk on a plane in Secret War doesn't break anything. It's just I'm mad. I'm on the internet.
It's actually how you write, right?
And every time this fist comes down, it's enter. More stuff. It depends on what it is. There's stuff that I'm really passionate about, like things that I think make a character. I love Batman Year 2, the story. It is crazy and doesn't make any sense and should not be in continuity. I love it because it's crazy, because that's the one where you find out that Batman has had the gun that killed his parents. He stole from the crime scene and put in a little drawer underneath his parents' portrait. And then when he finds the man who killed his parents, he pulls it out and he's like, I have no choice but to use the gun that killed my parents. It's like, really? I think you've got a choice in that. But I think, there are things that I think are fundamental about characters that, like, Batman should never catch the guy who killed his parents. And I know that Joe Chill has been around since, like, 50s. But I feel like that's an important part of his character, that he should never catch the guy who killed his parents. And he should never kill people, even though he totally kills KG Beast at the end of 10 Nights of Beast. I love talking about KG Beast. But I mean, me and Chad, because we used to work at a comic book store together and we still hang out all the time. I mean, Death Superman and the egg suit. Like, there's things that I'm willing to forgive. Like, Grant Morrison had Jason Todd talk about his red hair. Post-crisis, Jason Todd doesn't have red hair. He had black hair. The Jason Todd that had to dye his hair because he was a redhead was the pre-crisis Jason Todd, who had the custody battle with Nocturna and the Thief of the Night. But that story's really good, so that doesn't bother. It's Grant Morrison, so it doesn't bother me at all. But every now and then, like, I'll see something that is seems to me so easy to get wrong, and I know that these dudes writing these comics have read as much as I have. I'm like, what? Why do I know that and you don't? But they're getting paid, so they win. Their version wins. But yeah, I mean, there's stuff that jumps out at me like that all the time.
But I want a question from someone who hasn't asked a question
Yeah,
yet.
Brandon, keep it down.
So,
Since Wolverine's only power is basically his cells regenerate really fast, if he got cancer, would he die in minutes, or would he just fight it off?
Have you read Weapon X, the Weapon X book by Jason Aaron? In that book, which is awesome, Wolverine fights a bunch of dudes who are like the next generation of Wolverine. They have laser claws, and they have a gun that shoots cancer.
Awesome.
It is awesome. They have a gun that shoots a bullet that will give you, and this is a quote, 32 kinds of cancer.
It was much cooler when it was just a gun that shoots cancer.
But you never get to see him hit with it. But they say like this ought to keep his healing factor busy. But I don't know. I mean, that's an interesting theory.
Well, I did a webcomic where possibly Wolverine died because his bone marrow can't work.
Yeah, because like Iron Man, he doesn't have any bone marrow anymore. He keeps armor in his bones.
Like a bird.
I did it now.
You need to pour like your waitress.
we have drinking
pizza Hut
problems at
inside.
ComicsAlliance.
You don't know how true that is.
Any other questions?